Every month, tens of millions of people open a credit card bill, and they see two numbers. One is the full amount they owe. The other is a small, friendly, comforting number labeled minimum payment. And every month, millions of people breathe a little sigh of relief and pay that small, easy number instead of the big, scary one. It feels responsible. It feels manageable. The bank even seems to be doing you a favor by letting you pay so little. But that tiny, friendly minimum payment is one of the most brilliant, most profitable traps ever designed. A trap that can turn a small purchase into a debt you carry for 20 years and quietly triple or quadruple the price of everything you ever bought with that card. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the minimum payment trap works, why it's designed to keep you paying forever, and how to break out of it for good. Let me be honest with you right from the start, because I always will be. Credit cards are not evil, and used correctly, they can even be useful. A little convenience, some protection, maybe a bit of cash back. If you pay your balance in full every month, none of this trap touches you, and you can enjoy the perks for free. This video is not about those people. This is about the trap that springs the moment you don't pay in full, the moment you carry a balance, because that is the exact moment the friendly bank turns into something else entirely. So, let's see how it works. To understand the trap, you first have to understand the single most powerful force working against you: the interest rate on a credit card. And it is unlike almost any other debt in your life. Think about the other money you might borrow: a mortgage on a house, a loan on a car. Those charge you interest, yes, but usually a relatively modest amount. A credit card is a different animal entirely. The interest rate on a typical credit card is enormous, often several times higher than a mortgage, sometimes approaching or exceeding 20% a year or even more. That is a staggering rate. And here's what most people never fully grasp: that interest doesn't just get charged once. It compounds. That means you get charged interest on what you owe. And then, next month, you get charged interest on top of that interest, and on and on. It's a snowball rolling downhill, growing bigger every single month. But when you're borrowing, that snowball isn't rolling toward wealth, it's rolling toward you. Now, on its own, a high interest rate would be painful but survivable if people paid their debt off quickly. And that, right there, is the problem the bank had to solve. Because the bank doesn't actually want you to pay it off quickly. A customer who pays off their balance fast is a customer who stops paying interest. The bank's dream customer is someone who owes them money, pays a little bit, and keeps owing them money, year after year after year. The challenge was, how do you convince people to stay in debt as long as possible, while making them feel like they're being responsible? And the answer they came up with was pure genius. That's the setup. Now let me show you the mask. The answer, the mask over the whole trap, is that innocent little number, the minimum payment. Here is how the magic trick works. The bank sets the minimum payment incredibly low, often just a tiny percentage of what you owe, sometimes barely more than the interest itself. And they present it to you as the safe, acceptable, responsible amount to pay. Just pay this much and you're fine. No late fee, no problem. But watch what actually happens when you pay only the minimum. Most of that small payment goes straight to interest, the bank's profit. Only a tiny sliver actually reduces the amount you originally borrowed. So the next month, you still owe almost as much as before, and they charge you interest all over again on nearly the whole balance. You pay again. Again, most of it is interest. Again, your actual debt barely moves. You are running on a treadmill, paying money every single month, feeling responsible, watching your balance refuse to shrink. You're not climbing out of the hole. You're just paying the bank rent to stay in it. Let me make this real, because the numbers are almost unbelievable. Imagine you put a few $1,000s on a credit card, say the cost of a decent sofa or an unexpected car repair. And imagine you only ever pay the minimum each month, faithfully, never missing one. How long do you think it takes to pay off? A couple of years? With a typical high interest rate, the honest answer is often somewhere between 15 and 25 years, 2 decades, to pay off a single sofa. And by the time you finally do, you will have paid 2, 3, sometimes more than 3 times the original price, the rest of it vanishing into interest. You will have bought that sofa several times over and only ever received one. That is the minimum payment trap. And it is entirely legal, printed right there on your statement, disguised as the bank doing you a kindness. And it gets worse, because the mask has more layers. The bank has other little tricks stacked on top. There's the late fee. Miss the payment date by even a day and you're hit with a hefty penalty. And sometimes your sky-high interest rate jumps even higher. There's the way new purchases keep piling on. So just as you pay a little down, you add a little more, and the treadmill never stops. There's the cash advance, where taking cash from your credit card can charge you interest immediately, from day one, at an even more brutal rate with a fee on top. And there's the psychological trick underneath all of it. Paying with a card simply doesn't hurt the way handing over cash does. Studies have shown people are willing to spend significantly more when paying by card because it doesn't feel like real money leaving. The card numbs the pain of spending, and a numb customer spends more, borrows more, and pays more interest. And who is this trap aimed at hardest? Often, the people who can least afford it, and the people who were never taught how any of this works, which very much includes a lot of hardworking folks who've simply never had compound interest explained to them honestly, in plain English, without a sales pitch attached. This is the collapse. And notice, as with every trap, how quiet and how polite it is. Nobody forces you into debt at gunpoint. A friendly company hands you a card, offers you a comfortingly small minimum payment, and lets human nature and mathematics do the rest. Quietly, patiently, and enormously profitably for years and years, while you keep feeling like you're handling things responsibly. So who pays for the bank's gleaming towers and its endless advertising? People carrying balances do. Every dollar of interest, every late fee, every year someone stayed on that treadmill. It built those towers, brick by brick, mostly out of the pockets of people who were just trying to get by and who thought that paying the minimum meant they were doing the right thing. But, and here comes the good news as always, the moment you understand this trap, you hold the key to escaping it. And you don't need to be rich to break free. You need a plan and a little determination. Here's how. Grab a pen. Step 1, and it's the golden rule. Always try to pay your balance in full every month. I know that isn't possible for everyone right now, and that's okay. But make it the goal, the target you aim for, because the instant you pay in full, this entire trap disappears. No interest, no treadmill, just a convenient tool you use for free. If you can get yourself to that place, you've beaten the game entirely. Step 2. If you are carrying a balance right now, pay more than the minimum. Anything more. This is the single most powerful move you can make because of how the math works. Remember, the minimum is mostly interest. Every extra dollar you pay above the minimum goes straight at the actual debt itself and shrinks the balance that all that future interest is calculated on. Even a little bit extra, paid consistently, can cut years off your debt and save you a fortune. Pay as much above the minimum as you possibly can every single time. Step 3. Understand your enemy by name, the interest rate, the APR. Know what yours is. If it's high and you have decent credit, you have options that can dramatically speed up your escape. You can call your bank and simply ask them to lower your rate. It works more often than you'd think, and it costs you nothing but a phone call. Or you can look into moving the debt to a card offering a low or zero introductory rate for a period, giving your payments a window to attack the actual balance instead of the interest. Just read the fine print on any offer, because the trap loves to hide in there too. Step 4. The mindset that protects you going forward. Make spending feel real again. Since the card numbs the pain of paying, you have to put the pain back yourself. Before a purchase, ask the old-fashioned question: if I had to hand over this much in cash right now, would I still buy this? And promise yourself you will never ever borrow at these brutal interest rates for something that disappears quickly: a dinner, a gadget, a want rather than a need. Paying 20% interest for years on a meal you ate in 20 minutes is a trade nobody would ever make on purpose. The card just makes it easy to do it by accident. Now, let me be completely fair, because I always will be. A credit card, used with discipline and paid in full, is genuinely a useful tool, and there's no shame in using one that way. This was never about fearing a piece of plastic. It's about understanding that the friendly little minimum payment is not your friend. It's the mechanism of the trap. It was designed very deliberately to keep you paying the bank for as long as humanly possible, while feeling like you were being responsible. Once you see that clearly, you take back control. You decide whether the card works for you or whether you work, quietly and endlessly, for it. Because here's the truth: they spend billions hoping you'll never sit down and calculate. The bank makes its fortune not from people who can't pay, but from people who pay a little, forever. And the person who understands the minimum payment trap is the person who finally steps off the treadmill and starts keeping their own money instead of renting a hole to stand in. If this made that little minimum payment number look a lot less friendly, send it to someone you care about who might be stuck on that treadmill right now. It could be the most valuable thing they watch all year. And stick around, because next time, I'm detecting another trap they're praying you'll never spot.